Hello, my name is Benjamin Hart. I'm an American attorney and the managing director of Integrity Legal here in Bangkok, Thailand. I got an email the other day where somebody sent me a message and they said, how would you describe or how would you explain to people what your channel is? And it caused me to make this video, frankly, which is, it's kind of the Mystery Science Theater 3000 of legal analysis. And what am I talking about? Well, let me preface it by saying, first off, in a way, and I've hoped over the years, I've stated this as unequivocally as I can, the content here should not be viewed as the end-all be-all of all legal analysis. First of all, you can't, as I've made it very clear when I've talked about, especially others who go out and give this broad sweeping legal information, legal advice that this is how things are, this is how things are going to be, you know, and this is how every case is going to work. No, there is no one-size-fits-all with legal analysis. Meanwhile, there's sort of legal analysis and legal punditry, and then there's what I would also call sort of, in the sense of pop culture, there's kind of pop legal analysis. So pop in the sense of what's new. That's why we talk a lot, we riff on the news, which I'll get to here in a moment. But the other side of it is there's a punditry element too, where I'm inserting my opinions, personal as well as professional in some circumstances, as to what I think is going on. I'm not necessarily always right. I try to be the first person to say so, and if pointed out, I try to stand corrected as much as I can. But the point I'm trying to make with this video is that with regard to riffing in terms of pop legal analysis, I guess, you know, when this person sent me this email and I was thinking, you know, what is this channel to me? Like, what is my modus operandi here? What is my method? And I just kept coming back to Mystery Science Theater 3000. And anybody that's ever seen Mystery Science Theater 3000, it's a show about a guy who gets stuck in a satellite and these evil scientists, and it's all comedy, make him watch cheesy movies with these two robots, and they sit there and make fun of the movie. That's basically what they do, and they riff on the movie. And that's kind of what I'm trying to say in this video, what we do on this channel. There's a lot of headlines that come up, and we're going to do some pop legal analysis off that, maybe riff on it a little bit. Sometimes it's funny, sometimes it's serious, whatever. But that's kind of the push of this channel. I'm making this video to explain this because, as I've discussed in another video, we are starting up a news service, which is going to be, I've discussed it as kind of akin to something like LexisNexis or Bloomberg or something with regard to legal news, economic news, Southeast Asia centric, but also in a broader context for the rest of the world, talking about just how things, you know, the analysis of day-to-day legal issues that are going to arise. That forum, that medium is going to be where you're going to see now a lot more of my serious stuff. Or I should say, maybe not to say that this channel is going to be in any way unserious moving forward, but it's not going to be nearly as in-depth. You know, I've done videos in the past that are half hour, 40 minutes long, going back to COVID when we went through the Communicable Diseases Act and we were doing the analysis on that. You may see some of that. If I feel there's an exigent need, like there was at that time, to get into that analysis, I will get into that analysis. But where it's sort of day-to-day stuff and we're talking about economics or law, the interaction between the two, business news here in Thailand, and you're going to want some substantive, in-depth analysis regarding what's going on in the news, what's going on with respect to developments, for example, tax law developments or developments with regard to immigration law in an in-depth manner. Again, the place for that is going to be in our news service, and feel free to email us at media@integrity-legal.com to get information about how to get on the list to receive those videos on a regular basis, as they are not going to be available to the public. It is a paid news service, but that's going to be where you're going to find a lot of the more in-depth analysis regarding these issues moving forward. But we're still going to do some talk on this channel. Obviously, it's going to keep going. Really, it's not going to change all that much. Again, most of the analysis we've done over the years has been much more pop legal analysis and riffing off news headlines. I'm going to continue with that format, But I just wanted folks to be aware that while that format will continue here, we are going to have an alternative format with regard to more in-depth analysis regarding legal and economic matters of the day.